Bitcoin's going to be more exciting than ever in the coming 12 months. We went through a difficult year in 2022, but the mojo's back in 2023, and 2024 is going to be fabulous.
Michael Saylor telling you exactly when he thinks Bitcoin's going to blast off. He says 2023, we're going to continue the momentum for Bitcoin, but 2024 is going to be huge. Why do you think he's saying that? The Bitcoin halving is coming in less than a year. We're only 256 days away from the Bitcoin halving. So a lot of speculation that after the halving, we're going to have some massive gains for Bitcoin. Why the speculation? Because every single time Bitcoin has a halving, which essentially just means the amount of Bitcoin that is created every single day by the miners gets cut in half, we go into a massive bull run for Bitcoin. It normally lasts about a year and a half to when we hit that peak for BTC. So Saylor is anticipating that we'll be having more demand for Bitcoin next year. We are potentially having that Bitcoin ETF from BlackRock that could be coming, and some of these other institutions like Fidelity. I think he's talking about some of that as well. But this is a recent interview Michael did on Fox Business. Let's go ahead and see what else he had to say.
We believe Bitcoin's the apex property of the human race. It's up 145% in the past 3 years versus the S&P 37%. And it's engineered to be better gold than gold, and it's a big tech monopoly, but without the company attached. So I believe that there's massive institutional demand for Bitcoin exposure. MicroStrategy is building its balance sheet so we can accommodate institutions that want to get on board. Well, it's the first digital commodity that's been invented in 5,000 years. And so it's understandable that until you understand it, an intelligent person will be and should be skeptical. But once people understand Bitcoin, they think, oh my God, I just have to be part of this movement. I think he's missing the fact that Bitcoin, the protocol, is an open protocol like the English language or like mathematics that's available to the entire human race. It's also like fire or like electricity. And when we point to people that burn themselves or shock themselves because they misused fire or they misused electricity, that doesn't mean that electricity and fire aren't useful. Bitcoin is an empowerment for the entire human race, but people will from time to time misuse it. And when they do, their companies will suffer.
Michael Saylor again, just pleading the case for Bitcoin, why he's so confident in it and why MicroStrategy continues to put it on his balance sheet. And as you can see, over the past 3 years, we have continued to lose more and more Bitcoin on exchanges, currently sitting at around 2.25 million BTC on exchanges. And there's something I saw on Twitter the other day I want to share with you guys. If you actually take the number of members in the Bitcoin subreddit, 5.7 million members, this is probably 5.7 million people who are actually interested in BTC. And if all those people buy 0.33 Bitcoin, all of this Bitcoin would be gone. Just put that in perspective, guys. That's just with people who are already interested or know of Bitcoin. There's 9 billion people in the world. We're only talking about 5.7 million people. If they were all to buy 0.33 Bitcoin, which is around 10,000 USD today, which would be pretty hard for most people, especially people living in third world countries, but that would take all of this Bitcoin on exchanges away. And obviously the price would have to go up as more Bitcoin gets taken off of these exchanges, because not everybody's going to be able to get 0.33 Bitcoin for $10,000. So it's just digital math, guys. Eventually we'll get a lot of demand back and the price will probably go up. It's not financial advice, but it's just what we've been preaching for the past 2 years on our channel, and we'll continue to preach it. And you can see right here the Bitcoin number of active addresses. These are addresses that have active, which is kind of a good indicator to see that Bitcoin's moving around. It's kind of been flat, but this really isn't that surprising. Over the past 3 years, it's been flat because we just have more and more hodlers. People are continuing to hold Bitcoin as a method of wealth preservation, holding it for long periods of time because it's going to go up against the US dollar, against any other fiat currency out there, and even other assets out there. That's what people are doing. So it isn't surprising that the active number of addresses really hasn't changed too much. But I do want to ask you guys, put your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you view Bitcoin as money, as in you want to go to the coffee shop and spend your BTC, or do you view it as a digital gold? Me personally, I view Bitcoin more as a digital gold, a store of value, a long-term hold. But there are a lot of people in the Bitcoin space who want to spend their sats. Me personally, why would I want to spend sats when I know it's going to go up against the US dollar or any other fiat currency? I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. Put your thoughts in the comment section below about that. I believe Bitcoin is more of a savings technology. Just opt out of the fiat currency. You have to have some fiat to do everyday transactions, but you can have Bitcoin as like your savings account. That's how I view it, at least. So put your thoughts in the comment section below about that. Definitely want to get your guys' thoughts. And you can see here the Bitcoin number of addresses with a non-zero balance is going up and up and up. And I mean, this just goes to show you guys, this is hitting all-time high after all-time high after all-time high. It's just more and more people getting involved in Bitcoin. There's only 47 million addresses. That's not that much. There's around 350 million people in the US. There's 9 billion people in the world. And I'm very sure that there's multiple people with 5, 10, 15 Bitcoin addresses. I know myself, I have a lot of BTC addresses. So it's not 47 million people that are in Bitcoin. It's definitely less than that. So when people ask, are you early? It does look like we are still early to the Bitcoin bandwagon. And here's something I want to talk about, the U.S. national debt. This is something that is a reason why people are investing in hard assets like Bitcoin. You can see it's currently at $32 trillion. And if we check out this chart here, you can see this is the U.S. national debt over time. It took us a very long time to get to $10 trillion. We didn't get to $10 trillion until 2010. And then we have gone up more than 200%, up to $32 trillion in debt in just under 15 years. It took us this long to get to 10 trillion, and it's only taken us 13 years to get to 32 trillion. Does that make any type of sense? No. The US dollar is a fiat Ponzi scheme. It's going to continue to lose more and more value over the next decade. We'll probably be at 60, 70, potentially $80 trillion in debt. And this is something that affects not just us here in the United States, but people around the world, because the US dollar is the world reserve currency. If you understand this, you would want to opt out into something like Bitcoin. And there's a clip on play for you guys here. Let's check it out.
Several big investors have looked at the downgrade that Fitch gave to the United States long-term debt. Kind of a scant saying this is an odd time for it. Fitch did make some good points in why they were downgrading out of things that have happened over the last 2 decades. What are your thoughts on the downgrade and what it means?
Well, nobody expected it. That's the first. Secondly, the numbers justify it. Regrettably, we've had an explosion of debt since the global financial crisis, and we don't appear to have a lot of discipline going forward. We're running huge deficits now. So on the numbers, you can understand why they did it. On the other hand, as Jamie said, because Jamie's always opinionated, I must say, the U.S. is the U.S. We are the reserve currency. We do defend a large part of the world, including people who have AAAs. When there's a crisis in the world, they buy our securities. Now, that doesn't last forever if you don't keep some discipline. And so, in a way, it's a bit of a shot across the bow. On the other hand, people forget it's actually a split rating. Moody's and Standard & Poor's historically have been the 2 major agencies. One is AAA, one is AA+. I agree it's not going to make a huge difference in really any way for the debt markets, but it is a little shocking when somebody just wakes up and says, I'm not so enthusiastic about your system.
Not enthusiastic about the system. This is what Bitcoiners have been talking about for years. They continue to print more and more money recklessly, And there's not a way that we can easily get out of this. If they just stop printing money tomorrow, it will cause the economy to crash. They need to continue to stimulate the economy so that they can hit their 2% quote unquote inflation numbers. It doesn't make sense. The system is broken, and it isn't just a problem in the United States. This is a worldwide problem because the United States dollar is the world reserve currency. And this is where Bitcoin comes in. It allows everyday people to opt out of the traditional financial system that's broken and opt into a math-backed system that can't be manipulated by anybody, that anyone can opt into, and nobody can take your funds or print more Bitcoin, and they can't dilute your purchasing power or your wealth. That's what Bitcoin's all about. So hope you enjoyed today's video. If you found any value, make sure to hit that like button. My name is Aaron from the Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.